Seriously. Aha, right. Ah, I am now live. Yes. Yes, I am now live. Right. Moment of panic there. But yes, I am live. So let's get this started. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and welcome to the Low Energy Livestream, where tonight I'm currently being joined by Albert. Albert, we'd like to say hello.
Evening.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And Albert, if anyone is interested, where can they find you?
Click, clap, yow. Or I'm on
Fantastic.
Facebook 24/7.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to try and if you enjoy a bit of pump play, then please go check out Click Clack Pew on Facebook for all of your pump goodness. Ben says sound but no video. Well, I don't know what to say there because I've got video on this end. But Richie says working here. Paul, I've moved the desk. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But yes, guys, it is a pleasure to see you all here. Thank you very much for dropping in. And now that you are dropping out, thank you. I'm going to assume at this moment that is you guys just refreshing. So if you can share the stream around, that'd be much appreciated, because I need to try and get people to come back and watch this, because I think over the past couple of weeks that has pushed people away. Nobody likes watching streams that don't work properly. Hello there, Kingfisher. Thank you very much for dropping in. Hello. I'm not even sure if I've already said this. I'm a little bit excited tonight because things are currently working. But hello, Paul. Hello, Richie. Hello, Ben. Thank you very much for dropping in. And at the moment, I think that's it. So, yes, as Paul mentioned, I have moved the desk. But the thing is, it's not me that has moved the desk. The wife is slowly evicting me from the bedroom. This is no longer going to be my office space as of this coming weekend. So I have no idea where the streams as of this point will be done. What was that? Sorry, Albert, I lost you there.
Do you have a shed?
I do have a shed. Unfortunately, it is full of tools. And my push bike and stuff like that. I have considered the back of my car, but I think that may be a little bit dodgy. Basically, I'm going to have to find somewhere. Now, if my idea that I have floating around in my head works, I may actually make a little video while I'm sorting this out. If not,
I've just
then
got
I
visions of
just
you
don't know.
in the back of your Berlingo and you're having a load of love for the faces squashed up against the glass.
Yep. Well, you never know, that might happen. Richie Wong, no reflection in the mirror. Proof of a reverse vampire. Indeed, Richie. Indeed. Yous have finally filed my. Yous have finally realised my secret. I have no reflection. Gibbs moved the desk. No, just the wife. As I said, she's adamant that I am going to be out of this room soon. And she's getting to the point where she's now just taking my desk out of the room herself. Dr. Rush, yes, it is actually working. I took your advice, so ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do this a little bit later on in the stream, but I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Rush for convincing me to, well, for giving us some motivation, and effectively, he didn't say it like this, but effectively he told me to man up and shut up. But yeah, thanks very much, Richard. It was much appreciated, and yeah, I did what you said. I checked Task Manager and stuff. I found where I could turn things off and stuff, and my Task Manager, it does indicate that my laptop is struggling, but it is actually usable. So I'm currently running at 100% CPU, but you know, I think I might be able to make some improvements there. What's that?
When you ran Taskmaster, they just laugh at you and tell you to get a new laptop.
Yeah, basically. Apparently OBS is currently running at about 46% CPU usage. So, yeah. I think as long as I don't really open anything or touch anything, things might continue to run relatively smoothly. Relatively smoothly. You're going to say something there, Albert?
Famous last words.
This is it, famous last words, yeah. Well, I mean, I just closed the window there, and my stream kind of stumbled a little bit, so that gives you a hint about how fragile things are. Kingfisher, going mobile. Kingfisher, I would have actually streamed by mobile. That was actually how I originally started the low energy live stream. Unfortunately, thanks to nutters, YouTube changed the rules on live streaming, and unless I can get 1,000 of you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch roughly 4,000 hours worth of content, then I can't live stream from my mobile directly to YouTube. I could live stream to Facebook, but then I don't have the other guys on with us and things like that. It would just be me talking to just yous, which I don't know if you want that anymore. I've spoiled you with having guests on. Richie Wong, yes, baby Dexter next month. So yeah, that's gonna make some changes. Nigel, hello there. Thank you very much for dropping in. And Ben, you can finally see us. Fantastic, Ben. Hello. Right. So then, how's everyone doing? As I said, I'm quite excited tonight. Things appear to be working, and that makes me feel good. I did kind of need a dose of man up after last week. Well, yes, big shout out to Dr. Rush for helping us out with a bit of motivation. And if you guys aren't already, there is a link in the description down below. Please go and click that link, watch Dr. Rush's content, and subscribe to him. He does make great content. You can see he puts a lot of work and effort into his stuff. Right. Albert, are you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I just want to make sure you are very quiet there. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose first thing we'll do is we will drop straight in with the games that you can play this coming weekend. So, if you're not interested in this, feel free to come back in about 10 minutes. Task Force Paintball have a game this coming Sunday. It is the War Dogs Christmas game. Thank you very much to Chris Barrett for the information on this one. It is £20 with bring your own paint, and they are playing paintball and taser tag. I am not totally sure what taser tag is, but I have been led to believe it is rather shocking. Yes, pitiful dad joke.
Taser tag.
Yes, taser tag. It sounds electrifying.
I've seen taser ball before.
Yes. Well, I don't know if this is a bit like the taser ball that was made famous a couple of years ago. I believe the only one I can remember who was in that was Thomas Taylor.
It was a couple of pros. Paintball and pros.
Yeah, that's it. It was a few guys that were like relatively high up in pro paintball at the time, but I don't know. I don't know who else was in it. Next up, there is the BZ Christmas Party. Apparently, this is the event of the year. Unfortunately, it is invite only, and I'm not invited. Thank you very much, Gassy, for that one. Thank you very much, Craig Gassy Patterson. Next up, there is the Combat Zone Lincoln Walk-On. This is this coming Sunday. It's £20, bring your own, £45 with a box of paint, and there is also a prize for fancy dress. If you are interested in that game, you have got to confirm in advance that you're going. Big shout out to Dom Piazza for giving us the information on that one. Albert, I think you've got a little bit more information on that, haven't you?
Game. Right there. Sorry, you caught me.
I caught you off guard.
Yeah. What was that? Sorry.
What was the information that you have for Combat Zone Lincoln?
Oh, right there, £20 if you bring paint, 45 for a box.
Mm-hmm.
You could pre-order, but that was deadline for that was yesterday.
Yes.
But you also, if you wear a hat, you get.
I've lost you there again, Albert.
If you wear a festive hat, so like Santa Claus or something like that, you knock £5 off the.
Brilliant. Hey, that's worth doing. And you can pick up a Santa hat for a couple of quid. And if you've already got one, that's even more of an incentive. Yeah, getting £5 knocked off your entry fee, you can't complain at that, can you?
So yeah,
yeah.
£45 with entry fee and a box of paint. If you want the better graded paint, it's £50.
Right.
That includes rate. Yeah, say you could order Pacific paint, but that had to be in yesterday. Yeah. If you need any more paint, it's certain grades are 35 paints for.
Right.
You can't really pick and choose because it's past the.
It's past that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if anyone is interested in going, please contact the site beforehand. There is links to all the games that I give shoutouts to in the description down below. Please feel free to check them out. Go give the pages likes, follow them, go to the games this weekend. All about promoting paintball. Right, is there anything else on that one?
No, that was basically it.
Right, fantastic. In that case, we'll move on to the Chris Massacre Walk-On. This one was given by Roy Wakelam. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a price list for this one, but there is a free Christmas lunch, which, hell, you can't go wrong with a free Christmas lunch. This is an Outpost Paintball Chester. Now, if I have this right, they have got bring a present for somebody that's in hospital, and they will swap it for a pyro. Now, I'm assuming that means if you take a gift along that can then be given to somebody that's in hospital who may not be receiving anything this Christmas, they will swap that for a pyro in exchange on the day, which I do think is a great incentive. It's a great little thing that Outpost is doing. I think more people should do things like that. But yeah, for the sake of, maybe it's a smelly gift set or something like that, it can maybe be a couple of quid, might be a £5 or something like that. You can take that along and you'll get free pyro. You'll get a free pyro on the day.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yes, I do. I think that's a great idea. There is also apparently going to be a birthday run for Dave Diggs. And Dave did contact us just before there on Facebook and sent me a link, sent me a picture of him in his birthday costume.
The suit there.
It's what was that? Sorry, Albert. Ben, yes, I have had a shave. I actually had a shave last Friday. Unfortunately, you just can't really see that I actually have got stubble here because my stubble is very fair. So you can't. I just look fat and like 12 again. I don't know what possessed us to have a shave, but I did, and I immediately regretted it. Unfortunately, you can't really stick it back on. And finally, there is Christmas Carnage at Warped, which is again this Sunday. This one was from Danny Heritage. Thank you very much. It's £30 entry. It is £30 for a case of paint, and it is site paint only. Unfortunately, unfortunately for some, fortunately for the site. There was a bit of a write-up for this one, but unfortunately I didn't actually have time to look at the write-up properly. But expect a day of Christmas cheer, mulled wine, and mince pies. So that always sounds good to me. I keep saying it, but anywhere where any site that says something about that there's going to be food involved, food and paintball, yeah, I'm immediately interested.
There's a surprise.
Hey, I am making the most out of it this year. As of next year, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to eat. So, my wife messaged us earlier on with a list of the fees for a nursing place near where we live.
Right.
Yeah, a list of nursing fees for a place relatively close to where we live.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. For full-time childcare, I might as well not work.
There's a lot of people say that.
Yeah. I genuinely would be going to work to pay taxes, and that would be it.
That's all you do, didn't you, innit?
Well, almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm trying to make and sell T-shirts, because I need you guys to be able to fund my my paintball habit. Yeah. Anyway, Richie Wong, shaved and probably sprayed a bit of Lynx Africa. Must be on a promise. Not Lynx Africa. Hello. No, I think it's straw that I've got. Yeah. Ben, you thought I'd have gone for high grade, Richie, and gone for dupe. I believe it's dupe jump. Right, anyway. Unfortunately, guys. What? Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, because I genuinely did not think that the stream was going to work this week, I have nothing more to talk about at the moment. So,
well, we had the paintball awards on
yes.
Monday.
Yes, I think it was Monday that the paintball awards were on. No, it was not last Friday. Sorry. Time's flying.
That's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Friday. And then there's some more this Friday. Friday.
Yes, it's all of the alternative awards that's happening this Friday, isn't it? I'm interested to see. I am interested to see some of the alternative awards and who gets those. Although Martello has been doing some giveaways and stuff, hasn't he? For to go alongside doing the awards.
Yes.
And hey, I want to see who gets the pump.
Anyone who signs up for his Patreon, which is the lowest one, is like what, £1.20.
It's something like that. I mean, Martello I think Martello's got quite a good sense of humour, and the way he staggered his Patreon fees. I haven't actually logged into Patreon for a little while, so I think I've actually been logged out. But on Martello's, I think he's got like they're priced at sort of what you would get in comparison. So I think there's one of them's like the bag of crisps or something like that, and then the next step up is a pint, and then it steps up again from that, and it's for the chance. I do really like the stuff that's like Nicky T and Martello are putting up on the Patreons. You know, when they get a certain number of backers, they're giving away prizes, or they're doing giveaways regularly and stuff like that, or they're doing all these things, which it's great to see. It's great to see, you know, like people supporting these content producers that are then being able to give something back, like Martello doing the giveaways on the oh, sorry, I've got really itchy nose. Like Martello doing the giveaways when he's doing the paintball awards. And seeing the paintball awards was a really popular stream that he did. I think was there not some like 70 people watching at one point?
Yep.
So it's great. It's going to be great to see that actually continue to grow and expand. And grow and expand's the same thing, really, isn't it? But for see that continue to grow will be I think it'd be a good thing. You know, see sort of and to next year to actually be a proper sit down event. Potentially be a proper sit-down event. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
And the alternative awards on this Friday, your name's been mentioned a few times.
Hey, if people want to give my name a mention. Oh man.
One for video content, another one for what's the word I'm looking for? 2 seconds.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I do not believe that I am worthy of getting any awards for video content. I feel like over the past, especially over the past few weeks, my video content award deservedness has been significantly lacking. But as far as whatever the other award is, I'll only be able to respond to that when I actually know what the other award is that I've been put up for.
I'm looking.
No worries.
I'm having to do it on me.
No problem. Ben Rex says, why is Northern Custom Works custom stuff so good? He's about to get his fourth different product. the fourth different product of his. The Git. Well, Ben, just because somebody makes something nice doesn't mean you have to buy it. However, if you are going to buy something, then I would suggest buying it from Northern Custom Works. Because Chan does make bloody good stuff. He's worked on a fair few pieces of gear for me, and Chan makes bloody good gear. And I think this is only the beginning of doing this sort of thing for Chan, and I think over years to come, he's just gonna continue to grow and make better and better things. And I hope that Chan does basically what, as I understand it, HK basically started off where they were a Tony team that pretty much were selling stuff out of the back of that car when they first started off, and now they are one of the biggest names in paintball.
So started selling t-shirts out the back of a van.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they started doing. Start off doing, as I understand it, and now they are one of the biggest names in paintball. And it's like I hope that is where Chan takes his Northern Custom Works stuff. I genuinely hope he just continues to build and build and build. And at the minute, there does not seem to be any sign of him slowing down. He makes good products. He's not ripping people's eyes out, and they are reliable. And Chan is approachable as well. If you have a problem with something, and I know I'm saying all this, and I am biased. Chan is one of my close friends. I've known him for years, so please take everything that I'm saying with a pinch of salt, because I am biased. But there is plenty of people out there that will back up what I'm saying in the fact that his gear is bloody good. I'm just laughing at something Paul said there. I'm assuming that he's in referencing me there. I haven't actually read through everything, so I may be wrong. But oh, what was that? Was that somebody in Discord, or was that something else?
Sorry, that was me. I just wanted to mute the mic because I was talking.
Fair enough. Yeah, Paul Cross is saying there. Bud all started in his garage. Planet clips from the back of a small shop. Yeah, this is it. It's if you look at a lot of these massive companies in the world, they have all started relatively small. Microsoft was apparently started basically in a garage. Disney was started basically in a garage. Apple was started in a garage. I mean, if you look at paintball itself, the Gardner brothers, who were the founders of Smart Parts, which then I believe moved on to GOG and things like that, and DLX, and they apparently started off by modifying barrels in that garage. There's potential there if people are actually prepared to work at things and try things. You know, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, but yeah. Richie Wong, Albert's fake wife suddenly appears.
She ain't fake, she keeps beating us up. I am fake.
Ah, there you go. Just like my dog isn't fake, eh? Richie Wong, talking about Chan, he seems to underprice his stuff. I totally agree, Richie. I've said to Chan before that his stuff is underpriced. When he puts things up, when he puts custom stuff up for sale, they sell out immediately. Now, that is, one, because his stuff is good and he's got a very good reputation, and two, because his stuff is cheap. He doesn't rip people's eyes out. I'm not saying that anyone else does, I'm just saying that he specifically doesn't. I know he puts a lot of work and effort into the stuff that he makes and the stuff that he designs. And, yeah, it's in my opinion, cheaper than it should be.
Right, so the awards that they're doing this Friday is Coach of the Year,
Right.
Ref of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
Above and Beyond Award.
Actually, can you start those again, please, Albert? And I've been trying to stay neutral on this, but I will actually try and answer some of these as we're going, and like who I think should get them. I'm not actually going to throw my vote in because I don't want to do that. I think I want to, but I'll give my opinion here and now.
So you got Coach of the Year,
Nicky T,
Ref of the Year.
I don't know. Ref of the Year. Is it Anthony Martin? He's the only one I can think of. So.
And then you got Above and Beyond Award, which is for promoting paintball.
That one, I'm inclined to say Nicky T, but yeah, other than Nicky T, you see, there is a lad in America called Louis. I think it's Louis Leon or Louis Leon, who he does. I think it's some sort of thing he does where he promotes paintball with kids. And tries to he collects up a playing set and then gives it to like a kid that is maybe wanting to start paintball. And I think that's a really great one to do. But if it's specifically the UK, then I'd probably say Nicky T.
Best all rounder.
Best all rounder.
All forms of paintball. So your Tony, your Scenario, your Magpie, and then you've got Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm not sure.
Then you have the Lazarus Award, Best Returning Player, aka the person you thought was dead.
You know what it is? I don't think there's been anybody that has done that in the past year for me. Where it's like I've gone, oh shit, they're alive.
Webby Award, so Best Online
Presence. Best online presence for me is a toss-up.
Best online content.
Best online content, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of wanting to say Martello, but I know Martello doesn't want to be nominated for anything.
He doesn't want. No, he said nothing for them.
Yeah.
See, now best online content, I said Nicky T when I was for.
Yeah, you see now Nick's content is brilliant. I mean, all of his content, you can see it's high quality, it's flawless. He's making really good content, but I think it's a little bit too obvious for us to say Nicky T. See, now, somebody that I think does deserve shout-outs, but never seems to get the attention. Again, I've talked about it before, is Artwood. I think Artwood's content is fantastic. And I think he does deserve more shoutouts and does deserve more attention.
The next one is commenting online.
Sorry, I lost you on that one.
Warrior.
Keyboard Warrior.
Person who's always commenting online.
I'm sorry, Ben, but that's got to go out to you. Ben Johnson, it has to go to you, mate.
That's yeah.
What was that one there? Sorry, mate. I think I'm male player of the year.
Just fail of the year.
Oh, fail of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, that's not. I've got one. I don't know who it was, but my fail of the year. It's not one player. It's two players. And it goes to it was not disruption. The Sandbaggers, and I'm not even sure who the other team was that they're playing against. But it was the fact that in that game, and it's on video, one of the Sandbaggers running up and being within like 2 feet of another player, and that player not seeing him, so the Sandbagger just turns and runs on, and then runs past another player and carries on running. That is my fail of the year. That cannot be beaten for me.
And then you've got human megaphone. So, just for being loud.
Human megaphone, just for being loud.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
I don't know on that one. I really don't know on that one.
Yeah, and I got your back award, and the one that this is for being the team.
Like team player of the year, did you say?
Yeah, basically. I got your back award. And that's when he puts there, please no notifications for Paintball Magazine or Martello. Don't seem to stay indulgent or self-gratified. He doesn't want these, and they will be removed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I suppose it's also trying to keep him. He's probably trying to keep himself impartial.
Yeah,
he probably doesn't want to have to be giving himself an award live on air.
If you're wondering when you're mentioned in
Above and Beyond.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
And the Webby.
And the Webby, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've gone above and beyond, and I don't think I deserve a Webby award. So. Actually, yeah, that's Ben. I suppose that I've got your back one probably does go to Chan for just fixing my stuff. At one time, I used to fix all my own gear, and then I got a Chan.
I won't mention who put it, but someone's. God, that lad tries with his twice weekly stream.
I did read that post, but I can't think of who actually wrote it. The thing is, it's got like I kind of feel like it may have been Richie Wong.
No.
It's got to be what, Richie Wong, Gassy, Paul. Yeah, I'm not sure. But you know, I try. What more can I do than try? But yeah. So. Richie Wong tries my patience. Yeah, I probably do. Yeah. I think that's the effect I have on a lot of people, really. Yeah. So, I did mention this beforehand, before we started the stream, but something I did really want to talk about is I am absolutely loving the customization that is going on with the Planet Eclipse EMEC. There is, since I've started doing this show, I've been added to a lot of people's pages where they are creating things, they're 3D printing stuff, they're designing stuff, they're making stuff. I'm loving it. But I'm seeing a lot of people that are like printing parts for the EMEC that are, like in the case of Northern Custom Works with Chan, milling parts for the EMEC. It's just creating stuff. And this is what I feel paintball has been lacking for years now. And I know I've talked about this before, but paintball to me has been lacking the customization options. People just haven't been doing it because it hasn't been something that could particularly be done for some time. It seems like everybody's just been buying cookie cutter guns, taking them out and going and playing. I mean, that in itself is good, but I think, I've said it before, when you modify something so that it is yours, you're more inclined to want to use it, you're more inclined to want to keep it. You're not as likely to go, oh, well, yeah, I'll get rid of this and I'll buy the new one, and then once you buy the new one, that's cost you an absolute fortune, even though you've sold the previous one. You can't afford to go out and play.
Like, when you bought your gun, the first thing you do is buy a set of aftermarket grip.
Yeah.
Now, you go into a paintball shop now and ask for aftermarket grip.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sell them.
Or if they do, they are like...
really stuff. Nothing new. It's the stuff that...
Yeah. Which is why I think people are snapping up the grips that China's making, because you're going... People, like you said, you go into a paintball gun into a paintball shop now, and they are bog standard. You're literally buying, like, your gun comes with the red grips, and you can go, oh, well, I'll have the blue ones. Whereas, like, when I started playing, you had things like the hybrid grips and stuff like that, where they were sort of, or the Empire even used to make them, where they were rubber stamp, but they were custom. They were something that was a little bit different. Now, alright, they might have been mass produced, but they were there was still something that made your marker different. Now, there was a likelihood that you might run into somebody that's got the same grips as yours, but you could change other parts as well to make them different. There was just so much more option. And
Virtue used to make grips as well.
Yeah, the thing with Virtue grips was that they generally had a little panel in the side, so you could put an LCD screen on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the greatest, because if you were buying them because you like the look of the grips, then you ended up with grips that had effectively a hole in the side. But
not all of them.
Not all of them. I mean, I've got a few pairs.
It was like an AK-47, and then it had these on the side of it.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, they were cool grips, but I think it was my Ion that there were hybrid grips with skulls on them and stuff, and I loved those. They were great, and I should never have sold that gun. Richie Wong says 3D printing is a game changer, but milled metal is still the winner for me. As in him. I totally agree. I would much rather have milled metal than 3D printing. But especially if you are just wanting to make a prototype, or you want to make something that isn't necessarily a structural part. Like, say, for example, the back caps with the back caps on Emacs, and I think it's also the Ether 2. You can change parts of those back caps, and there's been some pretty cool ones coming out. For example, I think it was, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my sort of failed stream last week, but Skibber Rigged, if you can find them on Facebook. They've made a Mandalorian back cap, which I think looks really cool. It's just the Mandalorian helmet, but it does look brilliant. And stuff like that, I think it's great, and it's not a structural part. It's not going to take much wear or anything like that. So a 3D printed part isn't an issue. Now, yes, it would be, in my opinion, it would be better if it was milled, because with milling you can get it anodized and it's going to be much harder wear. But yeah, I still just think that 3D printing or non-structural parts, fantastic. Yeah, and as Ben says, yes, definitely milled over printed, but I do think printing has its place. Richie Wong Chan's got wood. Yes, wood, of course. Yes, go back to mocking the way that I speak. It's not my fault, it's how I was raised. Richie Wong, Stinger grips would custom make as a set. Well, I'm not all that familiar with Stinger, but to be honest, we are now at a point where if I want a custom set of grips, Chan can do them. Just do some lasering or some etching for us.
I think another reason why Chan is so popular is the price.
Yeah? Oh, that's it, yeah.
Along the lines of the same sort of laminated wood, of the in particular the green laminate. The cheapest I could find on eBay, you're talking like £70.
Yes.
Then was margin. So
yeah.
You know, Chan's grips are definitely value for money.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that is it.
35 or is it £30 he's selling them for?
It's something like that. Yeah, they're not expensive grips, but
not for wood. I mean, you can get your cheap rubber grips for around that price, but
yeah,
you look for any laminated wood or even even on top of that, they're all lasered.
Mm-hmm.
There's a design on the laminated wood, and they're anywhere from £70, if not more.
Oh yeah,
depending on the color and what you want laser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, that's exactly it. I mean, even to buy stock standard grips, say if you go on eBay, you can buy like the mass-produced cheap ones for relatively cheap. So you can buy the cheap ones for cheap, duh. But yeah, you can buy like mass-produced ones that are a bit meh, and okay, they might set your marker away slightly different. Now, obviously, we're talking like the 1911 style grips, or 45 grips, whatever you prefer to call them, because they are still mass-produced for real steel or for for like airsoft and things like that. But when it comes to the grips that are maybe designed that have bits that lock into them, like I know I think it's my E-Tech 3. There is a couple of places on the body, sorry, on the trigger frame, where the sides of there's like screws that protrude from the trigger frame, and the grips kind of lock over those. Now, if you have markers like that, grips like that, then a standard set of whatever else aren't going to fit very easily. But I believe Chan at the moment, and I don't know if he's gone any further with it, but I believe he's working on a set of, he's working on the design for to do E-blade grips, and I think they would sell. Now, I don't know if he's getting any further with them. I don't know what's happening with them. But hell yeah, I mean, if he starts creating stuff like that and selling them for like the same sort of price, people would snap his hands off for them. But yeah, I mean, Ben's posted 30 quid. It's 30 quid posted for a set of for like the grips that he got, which, you know, brilliant.
Bargain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. As Richie Wong says, bargain. But
yeah, that's the same price as what the BZ are selling the virtual grips, which is old stock from about 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to think of. It was Virtue. Yeah, the Virtue grips that you used to sell. And they're the ones that have actually got the sort of the panel on the side, haven't they?
Yeah, some have the panel on the side, but the ones with the panel on the side used to come free with the virtual board.
Mm. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I'm really loving this, and I was also saying, like, by extension, as well as doing stuff for the eMech, there is then also modifications that are happening for the Planet Eclipse MG100 as well, because they are, you know, they're so similar that some of these modifications, with a slight tweak to the designs and stuff, can be obviously then used for MagFed, and some of the same sort of things like the back caps and stuff like that, I'm sure, are basically just transferable straight across. So you do then not have that crossover with that, which is, like I said before, great to see. I think I've lost Albert at the moment. Gone to, must be talking to the wife.
Just having a family meeting.
Yeah, no problem. Having a family meeting in the kitchen. Right. I'm going to try something here. I don't know how the stream will actually hold up this, but I'm going to open this, move this over here. And hopefully this hasn't properly freaked out. But we'll have a bit scroll down. I'm going to scroll down through my Facebook page and see if there's anything extra that we can talk about today. Right. What we've got. Mostly at the moment, like most of the recent things that I've been sharing are shoutouts for games that are coming up. Yep, straight away the stream is lagging because I'm trying to share stuff. Let's quickly scroll down through this. Right, yeah, so. Yeah, no problem. I think I'm gonna try leaving the Discord conversation and then come back in because it's struggling a bit there. Right. Just gonna disconnect and reconnect. Right then.
Yeah, Dex, you're lagging now, mate.
Yeah, that's because I've opened stuff up on the other screen. I'm not actually surprised that happened, but at least I've got an idea. You know, like I can run the stream like this. And as long as, like I said, as long as I don't touch the other window, things are good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry about that, I muted it today because...
it's fine. It's fine.
My daughter and wife were killing themselves after she picked a candle up and she thought it was a spider and it was Someone else took the side of the camera. A false eyelash.
A false eyelash. A false eyelash caused a spider shock.
Yeah.
Talking of spiders, we're going to go completely off paintball here. But did you see the photo of the? It was, I think, somebody's electrical box in Australia where they've opened it up and it was just full of huntsman spiders.
Oh God.
yeah. There was like dozens of them all just like crawled into this one little space.
Them things are not little.
No. Apparently it was like basically, they reckon, like a full family, effectively like a herd of huntsman spiders, all gathered together in one little electric box, just like on top of each other and everything. Like, nope. I come across that, I'm leaving the country.
Yeah. That's one reason why I don't want to go to Australia.
Yep. That's it.
Like,
I don't mind New Zealand. Apparently New Zealand is very similar to our climate, so as a result, they don't have bitey things, they don't have spidery things. They're generally, it's just the same.
I read somewhere where the top 20 most venomous animals on the planet, and is it 17 of them all live in Australia?
Yeah. What's the expression? It's like everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Yeah, basically.
Everything venomous on most venomous, poisonous things on the planet live in Australia. Like, I think not.
What, you got the brown snake, you've got the fear snake, you've got God no, and then you've got the funnel web spiders, you've got box jellyfish.
Yep.
No. Definitely that will be going on over there, that's for sure.
Yep, that's it. I'll just stay clear. I've got no beef with Australia. Australia can just do its own thing. I'm just gonna stay clear. I want none of that.
If it's not trying to bite you or poison you, it's trying to eat you.
Yep, that's it. If it doesn't try and kill you outright, it's gonna kill you and then eat you later.
Yeah, you got your alligators and your sharks and Nah.
Yep. Just no. I'm out. I want now to do with that sort of thing.
Think about the most dangerous thing in New Zealand, sheep, innit?
Yeah. I mean, sheep are bad enough, to be honest. And Richie Wong says the most venomous thing on the planet, and you end up marrying it.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, Richie.
Oof. I disavow. Please don't hit me.
I was just going to say it's your last in the room.
Not in this room. No. Yeah. Oh God. But yes. It's Australia, as I understand it, is a beautiful country. But the fact that there is, you could put your shoes on in the morning and there's like some little bitey thing in it that wants to, that's going to try and kill you.
Well, it's not just that. Have you seen what funnel web spiders like to hide?
What, like in your socks?
Oh, in the bloody toilets?
Oh yes, yeah. You're supposed to like flush the toilet before you actually use the toilet, just in case it's hiding in the rim. That freaked me out so much that even though I saw that video years ago, I still to this day lift the toilet seat and check that there's nothing hiding underneath the toilet seat.
Yeah, that's the funnel webs, and like the bite can kill you, and they like to hide on these elusive.
Yeah.
No.
Paul says that the huntsman spider is not venomous to humans. I don't care.
I don't care.
It's got big teeth and it is a big spider. I know that means that in most instances with insects, the bigger they are, the less venomous they are, because they can actually use they can use their strength in their bodies and all that sort of stuff to fight for them. But generally, it's the same with, I think it's the same with scorpions. The smaller they are, the more deadly the venom is.
Yeah, definitely with scorpions.
Yeah,
the smaller they are.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the whole friggin' lot can be burned.
In that way,
I don't care.
Like out of a bird-eating spider, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't care if it's a big spider or if it's a little spider. As far as I'm concerned, they can all be stamped on. The problem is with huntsman spiders, it's like you try and hit it with your shoe and it picks the shoe back up and hits your back with it.
Yeah, Richie's put Australia's superb. Never came across any horrible spiders, but I did get shocked when fishing. What?
You see, now that Richie, your problem there was you went on open water.
So I'm guessing he was fishing, and before he could get the fish on the boat, the shark took the fish off the line.
I don't actually know.
You just think driving is crazy kangaroos hopping in front of the road. We have them in the northeast. It's just called pedestrians.
Yeah. Druggies, not just normal pedestrians. They're generally druggies. They do cause accidents when they're dropping your lap when driving. What, huntsman spiders? Yeah, because I just know there is no need for a spider that big. There's no need for spiders. I know as a gardener, I'm supposed to think that spiders are glorious and that they keep flies away and all that sort of shit. But no, fuck them. I nearly burned down my shed the other day because I decided to use my weed burner, which is effectively a flamethrower to cleanse the spiders. I basically went in there like the scene from Stranger Things with the flamethrower. Like, nope, I'm not having any of that shit. I do not like spiders. Which then leads me on to another thing, right? We are completely away from paintball now, ladies and gentlemen. We're forgetting about the paintball. My wife earlier on before we went live was watching Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, right? In that film, when Hagrid is taken away by the Ministry because they think he's the one that's killing people, there's just like a stream of spiders pouring out of his bedroom window. Why? Why is there so many spiders in Hagrid's house? It's unnecessary. That is terrifying. I realise that Hagrid is a gamekeeper and, you know, he lives in like a little hut down by the woods and stuff, but that is still an unnecessary amount of spiders. It is a constant stream of spiders that is leaving his house. Dom, no I don't. I do not want to look at the Goliath bird eater. Anything that is big a spider that is big enough to eat birds is not something I want to see pictures of. I do not like spiders. I understand that they are actually necessary to the ecosystem and all that sort of stuff. But they can be necessary while me also not liking them. Horace. Is that Horace the spider?
Hungry Horace?
Richie Wong, he was trying to reel the fish in, and the sharks would grab them.
Yeah, I thought when he said because I've heard that expression "sharked" before. Well, and yeah, that's when fishermen try to bring the fish up, and the sharks are taking them off the line. Yeah,
what you see, the problem that you have there is you need to use a bigger hook, so that when the sharks come up for the fish, you get the shark.
Depends on the size of the shark.
Well, no, the bigger the shark, the more meat there is on it. Richie won't go to throw tomato stalks at us now and pretend they're spiders. Yeah, that probably would get us.
Yeah, I remember doing that when I was a kid.
For the most part, I'm not the kind of person that panics when I see spiders. I just don't like them. But there was one day I was at work I think it was probably a couple of months ago now, and one of the guys was going around the factory showing people a spider that he had in a box. And we use like these little sort of like toolboxes for screws and things like that.
What the? Goliath? The Goliath?
No, Albert. No.
Can live up to 25 years?
There should not be spiders living longer than my dog can. Ugh. So yeah. So we use these like little tubs for storing screws in and tools and things like that. They're kind of like a long long thin ones where they've got like a hook on the back for hanging on their desks and stuff. Anyway, so he's walking around. He's got this he's got the spider in this pot, and he's showing it to people as he's walking around the building. Like it's scaring people and stuff like that. Because we've got a couple of lads that are petrified of spiders working there, and as he was walking over to show me, and I'm kind of like curious, but also I don't want to touch on us. And as he's bringing it over to show us, the thing actually reared up in this box, and I could see its front legs going like that. I involuntarily did actually stand up and back off. The lad that was working in the bay with us, he isn't one of the guys that's terrified of spiders. He got up and ran out of what bay that were working. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like spiders. There's no. Dom says the spiders in Hagrid's house are because of Hagrid the spider. Aragog the spider erased. Yes, that is true. Aragog is meant to be the spiders in Hagrid's house's father, or well, these they're meant to be. Well, not necessarily those spiders, but a lot of the spiders in the woods are supposed to be in the Forbidden Forest are supposed to be the descendants of Aragog. But there is no need for there to be that many little normal spiders in Hagrid's house. It's just there is no reason for there to be that many spiders in Hagrid's house. Paul Cross, I get 2 or 3 every year that I struggle to get a pint glass over over the legs to catch them and chuck them outside. Paul, you need to move, my friend. If you are having spiders that you struggle to get into pint glasses, you need to be moving. I would burn my house down and just I would just take the loss, to be perfectly honest.
Body length of 4.5 inches.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have a look at this, aren't I?
Legs, the legs, 11 inches length. That's a foot.
Goliath spider.
Can weigh up to 175 grams.
I mean, at least that is like what you expect. That is what you expect from a tarantula, though. I mean, you seen the pincers on it. There's a picture there. It's the size of a dinner plate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big dinner plate. That's body. If you stamped squarely on its body, its feet would still be sticking out the side of your shoe.
I'll probably turn around and kick the shit out of you if you try and stamp.
Kick the shit out of you with all its 8 legs.
Yeah.
No, it's that image of you like trying to stamp on it and it going, no! Human you shall not, I shall not end today. Nah, there is no need for that. It's literally a real life Aragog. Yeah, it basically is. Thing is, yeah, I don't like spiders. There's just no need for them. There is no need whatsoever for spiders on this planet. Yeah, I can't. No.
They've put here on this thing I'm reading, their venom bite is likened to a wasp sting. Sorry, but there's no fucking wasp sting.
There's no wasp that can get hold of you, pull you down to its level, and then sting you. I mean, that's the sort of thing that is the kind of thing that...
Oh, that's nightmare, sir.
Have you ever seen the film 8-Legged Freaks? Which, by the way, as much as I hate spiders, I love the film 8-Legged Freaks. That is that's the big daddy spider that kind of like comes trundling in. Like kicks the door in of the entire mall.
My skin's crawling. God,
you know what it is? I'm going to have an attempt at showing that on the stream. I'm just gonna have to quickly bring it back up here. Goliath spider, right? Images.
Have you seen that one? Have you seen the one where the guy's trying to hold it in his hand and it's bigger than his hand?
Yeah. That. It's just not right. They're not. Right, let's see if I can do this then. I think I've got this on the right thing, so... Share screen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Goliath spider, which there is literally no need. Have you seen... Have you seen the fangs on this one here? Like, those fangs must be like an inch long. There is no need for a spider to have an inch long fangs.
That's a dinner plate.
No, just not.
Right, that's enough. Right, back to paintball.
Man, that's eating a rat.
My skin's crawling. Ew.
Oh. But then
Nah.
I think isn't the camel spider even bigger than that?
It's not a spider though.
It looks enough like a spider that I just think it should be splattered. So
The camel spider isn't a spider.
it's horrible enough that it should be classified as a spider, to be honest. And we're going to segue again here. Do you know that rosemary, the plant, is no longer classified as rosemary? It is now classified as a sage.
Alright.
Yep. Which, give us one sec. It is now reclassified as Salvia rosmarinus. Yep, it has been deemed that rosemary is actually just another type of sage. So there you go. Segued completely into dead air there. Richie says, someone buy him a spider 50 cal. Now, that I'll accept. I mean, just seriously, why? If God is real, and I don't care which God you're talking about, whether it be, you know, the gods of the Abrahamic faith, it could be the Roman gods, the Greek gods, Egyptian gods, any gods. If the gods are real and they actually created shit, why did any love and caring God think that that was a good thing to create? Dom, where am I playing this weekend? Unfortunately, Dom, I'm not playing this weekend. God knows the next time I will get to play. At this point,
no, you've got a little on the way.
What's that, sorry?
You've got a little on the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's it. Well, unfortunately for paintball, that's it.
Dex, anytime now, really.
Yes, we are now at the point, I believe, where even if the child was born tonight, it would not be deemed as being premature. Yeah, so literally any minute now, the band could come and yeah.
So really, anytime now, isn't it?
So yes, I am on constant standby in case we need to go rushing to the hospital. I'd love to be a combat zone Dom, but I unfortunately probably won't be playing until Speed next year at this point. So I will be mostly keeping an eye out for whatever is happening over the next few weeks, and I will be doing my job as a paintball journalist in a way. I'll be bringing you the latest news Mondays and Wednesdays, unless things may need to change with that as well. I may have to... Thank you very much, man. But I may have to change the schedule of the live shows depending on what happens. But it's going to be... It's going to take some settling in to see what happens, but...
One live from the birthing suite.
You can just imagine. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and all of those in between. My name is Dexter, and I'm currently in the birthing suite. Oh, my wife would love that.
She'll probably already want to kill you. She'll want to kill you more.
Yep. Richie, no, one spec doesn't. It's NSEC. Yeah.
Sharon wanted to take a baseball bat in, and every time
yeah. See, I wonder if I might have to go down the route of like a shock collar or something, and if she's feeling really stressed or in a lot of pain, she can just zap us. That'll maybe make her feel a little bit better.
Did you hear that?
Not quite.
Did you get them what you use for swatting flies where it zaps them? Give her one of them, she can swat you over the head with us.
Yeah. But you see, the problem is with that, she might just like end up putting it over my head completely. Yep. Paul says robot spider.
Oh, stop talking about spiders, my skin's crawling.
So, I must say though, we haven't really talked about it very much, but obviously the revolution happened way before way before we started doing the live shows, but the 50 cal revolution really kicked in strong, didn't it? I know that there is like some sites that do actually use 50 cal, and I know it's
now use 50 cal.
Yeah, and I know that there is a lot of sites use it because it's a good one for getting kids in and stuff, because obviously 50 cal doesn't hit as hard as 68, which I do think is good because it means that you can get kids interested in paintball from an earlier age, which means that you're more likely to have kids playing paintball in the long run. But
what site is it they speed at?
That would play speed at.
Yeah.
Ancaster Leisure.
They're all their rental days, they're 50 cal. Because on the Saturday they had some people renting gear, play the big game, and they didn't have any 68, so they were playing the big game with 50 cal.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't actually know that. I knew that there was some guys that were using rental gear, but I didn't know that they were actually playing 50 cal.
They were using 50 cal because they didn't have any 68. All their rental was 50.
Yeah. Right.
And I think the National Paintball Field, they run both. You can either have 50 or 68.
Yeah.
But obviously they don't mix them.
Yeah.
BZ do under 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
50, above 13-year-olds is 68.
Yeah.
We will let, like, for argument's sake, there's a group of kids and one adult. They'll let the one adult play with a 50 cal.
Yeah.
Generally, they use it as an age thing at BZ.
Yes. You see, I think that's the most appropriate way to do it. Is obviously if you're doing it as an age thing, then like I said, you can get kids in that are maybe a little bit younger than, because I mean paintball on average is played from about 12 onwards, isn't it?
I think you can be as 10 to play the 50 cal.
Well, that's it. If sites are then doing it at 10-year-old with 50 cal, it means that you're getting those kids that a little bit younger, interested in playing paintball, and they can then move on down as they get a little bit older. It's kind of like right. Well, you're a little bit older now. You're a bit. How to put it? You're older now. You're a big kid. You can go out and play with the big paintball guns. You can put it forward like that, and it's a way of getting these kids that are maybe playing with some people our own sort of age, and it's a way for that parents to get them involved in, and then you can come out and play with your dad now or your mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of paintball kids, kids of paintballers, they are involved in the sort of the paintball scene right from being really young, and then they can't go out and play because they're too young for that. So yeah, doing 50 cal I think is a great option, and it's also it's a good one for I suppose if you don't want to get yourself absolutely bruised to bits, you can go out and play that. There is a time and a place for it, but I do think a lot.
I think about the 50 cal is how much paint you can actually carry.
Yes. Oh well, it's unbelievable how much difference it actually makes when you're carrying paint. I mean,
I'd love to go out on a scenario game with a 50 cal pump. You'd probably have one pod pack and a hopper, and you'd probably be out all day. You'd never have to go back in and fill up with air or fill up with paint.
I mean, I think it's like one pot of paint holds nearly a full 500 round bag.
Yeah.
One normal pod. So I'm sure when I bought the clear stuff for my HDR50, that held. I mean, obviously I had used some on the day, but the pod that I had held nearly the full bag, if not all the bag. It literally everything that I had left at the end of the day just easily tipped in, and I definitely didn't use more than 100 balls. It just easily fit.
Have you noticed that BZ are now selling you
the HDR50?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think the HDR50 is a fantastic little paintball pistol. Now the problem is because obviously it's 50 cal, and it's technically the marker is designed for home defense. Now obviously in the instance of home defense in countries where that is legal, you'd be firing a solid projectile, so the fact that it would be traveling at like 350 feet per second would actually hurt. Because we're using it for paintball and we're using it with frangible ammunition, that's where we're obviously getting away with that, because there's a lot of sites don't differentiate between paintball size. So when you're shooting 50 cal, some sites will want you to shoot 50 cal at 300 feet per second. But when I think it was Ben Johnson that actually worked it out, and the difference for firing 50 cal at an equivalent feet per second to 68 was you've got to fire 50 cal at like 490 feet per second for them to be roughly on par. Well, the lower powered HDR50, or I think the other name it goes by is the TR50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both those fire at like 350 feet per second, which is obviously well below the 490 feet per second, but it is still above that 300 feet per second, which sites then go, oh, hang on, we don't want anyone shooting over that. Now I know that there's a lot of MagFed sites, a lot of MagFed organisers, like say for example OMG, are fine with people using that because they actually make the differentiation. And I think it's again, if you step down to 43 cal, I think there's the potential for that to increase again. Well, in fact, it would make sense that it would increase again. But obviously, I don't think they run those anywhere near that amount, anywhere near the amount that those would actually be fired up to. But as time is going on, there's more sites that are realising that is usable. So it's great to see that BZ is actually now selling the HDR50, and it's going to be usable at some of these other sites. That just has to be spread across the paintball community in general, and yeah, it's like great fun. Now, as I was saying, their range, because they aren't firing at an equivalent velocity of 68, is lower than 60 cal. Sorry, than 68 cal. But they don't hit as hard. Ideally, they're not as accurate. I mean, they are a short barrel and they're a little revolver. They lose a bit of gas around the edges of the drum and things like that as they're firing. They are a CQB piece of gear. But as a CQB piece of gear, I cannot fault my HDR50. I think it's a fantastic little marker. Unfortunately, I do think I'm probably going to have to end up selling my HDR50 because I'm not using it enough to warrant having it. It's kind of how I feel with a lot of my gear at the minute, and I'd rather not sell it. But I feel like if I sold it, I could use the money better and like putting that towards improving my setup for this.
Have you seen some of the kits you can get for the MG100?
Not quite. I haven't really. I've seen a few things, but that's why I was talking earlier on about the fact like I'm loving the modifications that people are doing to them. Are you talking about like the full kits where it's stuff like turning it into?
AK-47.
Yeah. Like I can't remember what it's called. It's the Dragunov.
But you've got AK-100 kit. It's a British by the looks of it as well. 148 pounds.
Yeah.
AK-74. Ram kit.
Yeah.
And they've got
Is that a tea? You want a cheeseburger one?
2 seconds.
No worries. But as Albert's been saying there, I have actually seen some companies that are doing that. that are providing kits for to convert your MG100 into some pretty cool stuff. I think I did actually cover this a little while ago on the show, where you are getting stuff like, as Albert said, AK-47 kits. You're getting sort of like Dragunov kits and things like that. I think that there's another rifle that is very similar to the Dragunov, but I'm not actually sure what it's called. It's the one that is used in Battle Royale, I think it is. But yeah,
there's a kit that turns into like a FAL operator kit, which that looks really nice.
Yeah.
You've got a Dragunov, and the BSS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's supposed to be, but honestly, yeah, some of the, apart from the only thing that gives it away is the magazine, because obviously it's a straight magazine.
Yes.
Some of these are really nice replicas of AK-47s and SA-80s. It's a. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
It's called, they're just called mod kits, and it's mag-fed makers.
Yeah. Dom's said there, it was the SVS, I think, was the one that I was thinking of, where it looks very similar to the Dragunov. The MG100 is great for making these sort of replicas. It lends its shape brilliantly to some of these other rifle designs. Ben said it's still a RIF. It's still legal to sell without a valid defense against the VCRA. Yes, obviously that's true, Ben. Yeah, I've got nothing I can argue against that with, except for possibly, valid defense. Well, because obviously that's the same sort of thing that applies for airsofters, isn't it? Having the valid defense. Well, I don't know if Battle Gear can. I know we don't have UK ARA like what airsofters have, but I know in the instance of like Battle Gear, if you're buying something on site, they probably know and will have it on record if you are a regular player at their site. So I suppose that might be able to be used as a defense. Obviously, I know, Ben, you have more of a better knowledge on this sort of thing than I do. But yeah, yeah, Ben, the HGR50, that's the revolver that I've got. Yeah. So yeah, there is the potential. If you're a regular player at the site, then you could have that. If you also play airsoft, then you could potentially, well, you should be all right, because that would cover you for the fact of you're using, you've got something that shows that you're a regular player. If you have cosplay license, I don't know what it is, but Chan's got it, where it's like some kind of cosplay recognition thing, where if you have that, it proves that you're a cosplayer, and that's a valid defense for buying replica stuff. There's obviously film, if you work in film and things like that. I think there's a few different things, and I know that you know about this, but obviously I don't know if everyone else does. But yeah, there is a few reasons why you can potentially buy a RIF, or why you can potentially sell somebody a RIF, and it still having valid defense against the VCRA. But I know that paintball itself isn't at the minute seen as a valid defense.
I've just posted up some pics there on the technical stream.
Yeah.
I know some of these markers kits are for the TCM, but also a lot of them are for the MG100.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'll have a look and see what I can. All right. Yeah, the pictures. Right. Yeah, you see that the Rat Patrol kit, that looks cool. Right. I'll actually try and bring these over onto the share screen. Now let's just see how this goes. Alright, so going over onto screen share. The AEK 971 kit for the MG100. The only thing I can't see on these, Albert, and I don't know if it's just where you've taken the screen caps from, is there actually prices on this.
Yeah. Well, I just took the yeah, there is. Which one are you looking at?
At the minute, I'm looking at the AEK, the Alpha Echo Kilo 971 kit. I'm assuming that's 971. It could be 97. Yeah, I think the only thing it could be would be 971. But yeah, obviously, I think if you're going to run something like that, if you're going to run something that hasn't got the full stock on, like say the Dragunov or the SVS, then you're probably going to want to run a remote line on that just so that it maintains its sort of look a little bit better. But then we will go through a little bit. The Rat Patrol kit, mod kit for the TMC. See, that's kind of cool, but obviously for the TMC. What else we got? Mod kits, right. The FAL tactical kit. That looks cool. I don't think that's for the MG1. Well, that's not for the MG100 though. I think that's probably for the does it actually say on here?
It will.
I think they are for the T15, is it?
Was he looking for the FAL para kit?
The FAL tactical kit. And then is it the FAL para kit's the one that's the brown grips?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're for the T15.
That's 90.
We've got the AK-12 kit for the MG100.
It's for the Milsig 9.
Ah, right.
It's £40
Yeah.
for that.
Right. The Athena mod kit. You see now that looks like a sporting rifle. For the TMC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
£121 for that.
Yes. Yeah. Alright, it looks cool, that, but it does definitely look like a sporty sort of rifle. You know, something you expect like a competition shooter to shoot.
You know the FAL kit that you were on about?
Uh-huh.
That is for that's for the Milsig as well.
Yep. Oh, now the operator kit for the TMC. I like the look of that.
Yeah, that is nice though.
Yeah. 91 quid. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that's not bad though.
No, it's not. But that does look tidy.
Yeah, it does,
With the TMC, off the top of your head, do you know, is that 98 threaded or is it A5 threaded? Or even somebody in the chat might have an idea.
To TMC, it's 98 threaded.
You see, no, that's a shame. Yeah. I don't know why they even bothered going over to the A5 threads when they should have just maintained the 98 threads. You know, they already had a working barrel system. Why not? I mean, it would be like Eclipse going, oh well, we're gonna have you know, they've used autococker threads for years, and then on one of the markers they just go, I think we're gonna have the LV1 threads, and then going, right, we had the LV1 threads, and now we're going back to the 90. Now we're going back to the autococker threads.
Definitely tipping 98 threads.
Right, so
they are basically a tipping 98. It's
such an itchy nose. Oh god. Right, so we've got the
what's the rental marker?
The Cronus.
Basically, the Cronus, which is
also the FT12.
FT12s.
Yeah.
Cronus. They're all the same internals.
Yeah.
Which is a slightly modified version of the Tip 98.
Right, just looking here, there's the VSS Vintoras MG100. So, you know, that's where we start getting into like the proper Soviet-looking rifles. And the Dragunov kit. The only problem that I have with the MG100 with like the Dragunov kits on or the VSS kit is the stock doesn't look long enough. I mean, it looks good, but it kind of looks like stubby.
159 quid though, that's not bad for that kit.
Oh no, it's not. That's actually pretty reasonable for like a full marker kit. Then there's the AS Val.
Yeah.
Yeah, 152 quid. Yeah, the AKM kit. AKM kit. Yeah, I mean the AKM kit's only £118.
And I'd say that the only thing that ruins the shape of that is the magazine.
Yeah, but
you had a AK mag on that. Yeah. Which I know you can't get away from. But
the thing is, isn't the new sort of constant feed mag that Eclipse was shown off. I think it was Eclipse was shown off the other day. Isn't that actually slightly curved as well, though?
Not 100% sure.
I'm sure it's like the True Feed mag or something. The AK Draco kit. Get in.
Yeah, Draco, I like that.
You know what? I would love to see somebody running that, but running it with
I'm saying it's got a very little stubby barrel.
Yes, but not just the stubby barrel. I think seeing somebody running that, but running it with like a remote line, so it was basically like a machine pistol, would be great. I think that would be a lot of fun to see somebody doing.
The Wolverine, I like that one.
Yeah. Which one's the Wolverine?
Up from the Draco. Oh, did I not take a photo of that one?
I don't know. You might not have taken one. Yeah.
Sending in here now.
No problem. Ben says, no, the CF20 is a straight mag, no banana. Paul Cross changed the threads so they can sell more barrels and adapters, same as Smart Parts did back in the day. Yes, that's true.
Hey, well, there's the Wolverine.
Right, there, the Wolverine. Right. So I'll click back through. Hopefully it's actually come through. Yeah, there we go. Yes, yeah. It's got more of the sort of wooden style grip to it. As yeah.
With the iron sight on the top.
Yeah. Yeah, that does. That looks cool. Yeah. Mind, 79 quid for that. I think I would rather go for a full build and pay like almost double it.
Extra 40 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some nice stuff there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just happen to be listening to this and you have no idea what we've talked about for the past few minutes, go check out magfedmaker.com and check out some of the kits that they're producing for Magfed markers in general. But in particular, obviously, we've been interested in the kits for the MG100. Alright, I think I'll go back over onto the main screen for now. Right, so good evening there, Martello. Thank you very much for dropping in. What have you missed? As Ben says, talking the Paintball Alternative Awards, Spiders, Weekend Games, more Spiders, how Australia is one big nope, and we're now on to the MG/Ether/EMEC mods.
And spiders.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid spiders for now. Ben says, airsofters are the same as reenactment. It's recognised as the suspension of disbelief to immerse in the game, but they are not recognised. But they are a recognised defence. Paintball does not have any valid recognised defence. Yeah, because that was part of, I understand, the rules on paintball when it was sort of like first talked about, was the fact of you could immediately see that a paintball gun was not a real gun, judging by the fact it had a big air tank on the back and a hopper on the top. Now that is being kind of, those lines between realism and paintball are being blurred, that is something that could potentially become an issue in the future, and which does need to be addressed. But at the moment, it does seem very much an issue of nobody wants to address it because it's a bit of a tender subject and nobody really wants to sort of poke the bear. However, it's a sort of a situation of, do we poke the bear and get it over and done with, or wait for something to happen and the bear mauls you? Either way, apart from the fact that I've got the HDR50, nearly all my markers are just counter to that. You know, even my stock class Phantom, I'm not planning on running a stock class for much longer.
The only thing I have anything that remotely looks tactical is an autococker.
Yes. Yeah. And even then, Albert, that
just a little bit of metal on the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it the VL Tactical, I think they were called?
Yes, yeah, the VL Tactical, yeah. It was the sort of tactical attempt at an autococker.
Yeah, basically a bit of metal around the...
yeah, around the pneumatics.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, if it works, it works. Paul had said, in reference to the whole sort of change between the change between 98 and A5 threads was they changed the threads so they can sell more barrels and adapters, just the same as Smart Parts did back in the day. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, what was that? There was just in the time I've been playing, you've had GOG threads. I'm not sure if they're the same as Impulse threads, but then you had I'm not sure if Impulse threads are the same as Smart Part, same as not Smart Parts, as Lux threads. But I think Smart Parts did have a couple of them. Yeah. Band says the UK PSF had a written reply from the Home Office about this, so they know it's not kosher, but nothing's been done in years. Yeah, because as I said, Ben, I believe it is a sort of a situation at the moment, and I'm more than happy to discuss this with any Magford players that want to discuss it. But it does really seem like at the minute, as I said, it is a poke the bear situation. Nobody wants to poke the bear and see what happens over, and they'd much rather just leave the bear and don't poke the bear, and then the bear might wake up in a few years and maul, or it may turn around and nothing might happen. You might poke the bear and find it's dead. You might poke the bear and it mauls you. But till you poke the bear, we don't know. But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to any Magford players about this, and providing they're prepared to actually have a conversation, because
that's the problem.
Yes, I know there's a lot of people that the moment you try and say anything about their sort of thing, they take that as an immediate attack, and sometimes it's not that they're being attacked. Sometimes people want to have a conversation, but they will take it as an attack, and that doesn't just happen for paintball. That is all walks of life. You can't have a conversation about some things without people assuming that you are attacking them. But yeah, it is something that I do believe is going to be an issue at some point. But as far as I'm aware, that there is a certain number of people that would rather I shut my mouth and didn't talk about it and didn't raise attention. So
the thing we've got to worry about is some idiot using a realistic looking paintball gun in a criminal way.
Yes.
And if that goes to court, that's when the shit's gonna hit.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't even have to be in a criminal way. It just has to be in a way that involves somebody getting hurt. Now, you could have a situation where, and this was part of the thing with First Rate, until First Rate was declared safe, because I'm saying safe because it was tested, and I'm probably using quotation marks or air quotes there unfairly, but it was deemed safe, and if it's deemed safe and the UK PSF says it's good to use, then I'm happy to accept that. But I've lost my point. Yeah, I've trailed off there, and I've kind of lost what I was talking about. But yeah.
Getting hurt using a
yes,
paintball gun.
That was one of my arguments when the whole sort of First Rate ban kicked off. Was people had been using First Rates for years, and I'd even used First Rates before that point, and it wasn't until somebody pointed out that, hang on, if somebody was injured, First Rates technically hadn't been tested or anything. They were a sort of an unregulated quantity in paintball, and they weren't a complete paintball. So because they at least half of a First Rate generally doesn't actually break up on impact, would it still be deemed as frangible? And if you shot somebody, and let's say somebody lifted their mask in a game and you actually shot somebody by accident in the eye with a First Rate, what would the legalities be on that? Because if it hadn't been tested and continued on and hadn't ever been tested, and so that hypothetical incident did happen, and somebody took a hit to the eye, what would the legal issue be on that? Because if you're using something that is unregulated for paintball, and somebody gets injured, well, then there's going to be an inquiry into it, and then all of a sudden they're going to ask, well, who shot what? Because that isn't a paintball. And it's the same with Magfed. It's somebody could be shot in the eye with a Magfed marker, just the same as there could be with any other marker, but with the other markers, there is it's a hypothetical situation, yes, and I'm just talking hypotheticals. But with the standard hopper-fed marker, somebody could be shot in the eye, and they would look at it and go, well, yes, that's a paintball marker, that's designed for paintball, blah, blah, blah. It looks like a paintball marker, and all that sort of stuff. And just somebody looking at the exact same scenario in a mag-fed game could look at it and go, well, hang on, that doesn't fit the legal description of what a paintball marker is, because it doesn't look like what a paintball marker is described as under the reasonable defense, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's then, it opens up that they start looking in inquiries, and that person then gets, well, hang on, you know, then there's legal action taken. Well, where did you buy this thing that doesn't look like what a paintball marker looks like? Now, we all know that paintball markers don't have a stereotype, apart from the fact that historically they've had a hopper on the top and a tank on the back. Paintball markers don't have a stereotypical look more than that hopper and tank. You've got tournament style stuff, you've got like the old school sort of style stuff like auto cockers and auto mags, you've got pump actions, you've got scenario style markers, you know, like Tipmans and things like that. But when it looks like a real gun, if there was ever an inquiry, people could potentially go down that route of, well, hang on, it doesn't look like what we think a paintball gun looks like, and that's when you end up with problems.
Yeah, but what I worry about is, like, say if got their hands on a realistic looking paintball gun, and then ends up being hurt.
Yeah.
By hurt, I mean the police don't recognise what it is, and the guy gets injured by armed police.
Yeah, well, again, Albert, I mean, that could happen with
an absolute nightmare.
That could happen with a real, with a normal paintball marker anyway. To be fair, I mean, and I've talked about this before. I actually showed the video on a live stream ages ago, but there was that incident where it was two lads walking down the street, and the armed response unit pull up, and I believe it was described as the two lads walking down the street were like fractions of seconds and fractions of millimeters from being dead. Because as the police pull up, they were called because apparently one of the lads had what was perceived to be a gun.
It was a water pistol, wasn't it?
It was an airsoft gun.
Was it airsoft?
It was an airsoft gun, and this was like in the UK.
Yeah.
And I believe that incident that you're talking about may have been the American one, where it was the little laddie had a water gun, and the police literally just turned up and shot him. But in over here, there was, they are saying, there's video, the CCTV footage of it happening, because they were obviously kept on camera so that there was evidence for the police. And as the police pull up, the lad puts his hand into his jacket and pulls the gun out, holding it like you would hold a handgun. And the police pull their guns, they point their guns at the kids, and apparently the copper one of the coppers was squeezing the trigger to fire, and the lad realised what he was doing and dropped it. And it was at that point that the officer eased off the trigger, and then they found out that it was actually a BB gun. Now,
yeah, but that's just it. Like, I don't want to go down the airsoft versus paintball, but airsoft, all their gear does look realistic.
Well, yeah, the vast majority of airsoft does, yes.
They pride the fact that it wears the same.
Yeah.
That police use it for muscle memory, because if you can strip this certain gun, it's exactly the same as stripping the real gun.
Yeah.
And this was what I was getting told off the guy who was trying to sell us the stuff. Was it paint?
That's it. I mean, some airsoft stuff is literally one for one.
And he was bragging about it was 0.00 of a gram off the real thing.
Yeah.
And certain police forces around the world use it as a training aid because it strips exactly the same as the real gun.
Yeah.
And
yes.
There was no way in God's earth that I could tell the difference between some of the pistols and some of the machine guns.
That's it. I mean, with a paintball gun, like a paintball pistol or anything like that, if it's 68 cal, I mean, they have huge barrels on them. They would have to be firing like shotgun slugs at you for you to mistake them for being the real thing. But at least when you're point blank to them. But even then, I mean, you pull something the police, they don't necessarily have time to evaluate if it is or is not exactly a real gun. And bear in mind, I actually believe, I think, to an extent, I agree with the whole sort of Second Amendment in America and all that sort of stuff. I do, to an extent, agree that, with the idea that, you know, an armed society is a polite society. I don't think every single person should be walking around with a gun, and I also wouldn't want to live in a society where that was necessary. But I'm stuck between not wanting guns and wanting guns. But it's a case of, you know, if nobody's walking around with guns, then if somebody pulls something, well, a copper has to react. And even if everyone is walking around with guns, if somebody pulls a gun at a copper, they have to react as if it is a real gun. I mean, firearm safety is something that is like, when you get taught about guns, even in paintball, it's one of the most basic rules, is assume that your gun is loaded at all times. Assume that your gun is loaded, because what if it's not? And I think one of the most stupid stories I've ever heard. Have you ever heard about, like, the Is It Say or Do You Trust Us game?
Yeah.
Where originally it was done with, like, revolvers and things like that. But it was, you would take your gun, you'd point it at your mate and go like, do you trust us? Your mate most likely would go, yes. And you pull the trigger. And when your gun clicks, you all have a bit of a laugh about it. There was an officer a couple of years ago, did it with a I think it was like, you know, like a Beretta sidearm or whatever it was. Well, it wasn't an empty chamber. He did the, you know, do you trust us with his mate, and shot his mate because there was a round in the chamber. Yep, it's silly. But Kingfisher, and I know that Kingfisher is a Magfed player. Which, guys, if you haven't already, go and check out Kingfisher's stuff. He also produces good content. Even Kingfisher has agreed that at some point someone is going to look into Magfed paintball, and yeah, it is going to happen. He says it's when Magfed markers start going 50 cal and 43 cal that they start looking more and more real. And it's like, well, yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, the barrels start going down to what you kind of expect for real steel. I mean, even just looking at the tip of the barrel looks real. What's it, the PPQ? You put a PPQ down amongst a whole load of the handguns, like real steel, airsoft, whatever. People are going to have a hard time distinguishing. You know, people that don't necessarily know what a PPQ is exactly, or they're not like full-on handgun nuts, aren't going to know the difference between a PPQ and, well, most like a Walther whatever. But then the same, say, I want to say that in a way that it's the same with the Crossman 3357. The Crossman 3357 revolver, it does look like it could almost be a real revolver, but then it's also blocky, and you know, it's got like chambers in it and stuff, and it's not perfect, but it is also very similar to real steel. Ben, yeah, a bit like Russian roulette, basically. I'll get to that in a second, Colin. Ben says, that's called a Darwin Award. If they're stupid enough to take them out in public and to ignore what the armed police are telling them, then it's their own fault. Yes and no, Ben. I do agree, if they take it out in public, it's their own stupid fault. But the problem is that people don't always react in the best way, and it's involuntary. It's like, you know, somebody comes running up and screaming at somebody. They might be running up and screaming, going, "Hello, how are you doing? Like, good to see you." But some people obviously that fight or flight response, and sometimes it's not just fight or flight. It can be fight, flight, or freeze. They'll attack, and it could be somebody running to give them warning. They'll lash out. You know, it can be somebody running up to give them warning, and they will turn and run. And it can be something just like, well, what do I do? And they'll freeze up, or they'll do something stupid. There's something unexpected. And obviously, in the instance of those two kids, the best thing he could have probably done would have been paused and put his hands up. But no, his first thought was to pull the gun and show them that it's not a real gun. Great, there. Now he gets himself killed. God, I've got such an itchy nose. Benton says, it's like politics. Some people refuse to discuss the other point of view. It's taken as a personal attack. What we as
Yes.
players don't want is a knee-jerk reaction to some idiot getting nicked. Well, yes. Now, what has been talked about here is, and Albert, you were saying, you don't want somebody doing something dangerous with what people perceive to be a real gun. Turns out later on that's mag-fed. Well, the problem is, I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, obviously, if something like that happens with a piece of mag-fed equipment, then it will probably draw more scrutiny to paintball. But there was, well, it will draw more scrutiny to paintball. But there was an incident of a bloke robbed a bank somewhere, I believe it was in America, with a brass eagle blade. Which, if anyone isn't aware of what those are, I will actually just have a quick Google here. Yeah, he used a brass eagle blade without a hopper on it, and again, there's CCTV footage of it happening. I'll just drop over onto the share screen here. That is a brass eagle blade.
Do you not think there though that somebody might have thought it was a zip gun? That's why he's managed
Potentially, yes. Yeah, I mean,
That's how
as far as they were concerned,
it was a barrel.
yeah, it was a gun barrel. But the other thing is, as well, God, I was such an itchy nose. Oh, as far as they were concerned, they were being held up. Now, I believe in banks, at least in America, I don't know if it's the same over here, and I would assume it probably is. If somebody comes in and threatens you or anything like that, you just do what they tell you to.
Yeah.
Everything's insured and all that sort of stuff, so they just do what you tell them to, and then they call the police, and the police come out and chase you down and arrest you and blah blah blah.
Yeah, they're basically in this country not. They're basically just told to hand the stuff over. Don't argue. Don't try and fight back.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
your life's not worth it.
Yeah, it's very much the instance of don't be a hero, just do what they tell you, and you survived, and let the police deal with all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Right. The T15. Ben's saying that the T15 was marketed as a 1-to-1 scale of an AR-15. Yeah, I believe I can remember that. Which would have been. I still would like to get my hands on one of those, but hell, you know, I'm a pauper. The T68.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, he's also said that the T68 Ram shotguns were fully riffs as examples. And the T15, T68 Ram shotguns, they were also riffs. Yeah. See, now, the Duty DSG, that I've desperately wanted to get my hands on one of those for years.
Oh,
those.
You point that at a copy, you're dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, the thing is with the...
Shotgun.
Yeah, the Duty DSG shotgun, it actually takes real steel Remington 700 bodywork, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or furniture, I believe is the expression. I think, is it the Remington 700?
Like what says, you throw red paint into the mix. Somebody started making that again, red paint.
Yeah. I'm not sure. The Remington 700 is showing up to be a rifle. It might be the Remington 870 then? Yes, I think it's the Remington 870. Yeah. Because that was it. I mean, the Duty DSG is just beautiful to me. But it is basically, in fact, it is, quite frankly, it is a riff. And yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like you said, I mean, you point that at a copper. I was 800. Remington 800. Oh, but that's 800. Stupid. Yeah, you point that at somebody unsuspecting, and they're gonna think it's a real gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the right size barrel, the lot. You know what I mean? And like you say, it takes the furniture off the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, somebody sees it, they're gonna assume it's the worst case scenario.
I just think it's dangerous. I just really do. I don't like this. Like where paintball guns take the real stuff, like the the DSG and the
you see,
the T15.
Yeah.
That can take AR-15 gear. Like,
but that's the thing. It's like as much as if I could have if I could get my hands on a DSG, I would play with that all the time. Without a doubt, I would play with a DSG any day of the week.
Don't get me wrong, I love the look of them. I think like they look brilliant when you can't distinguish between the real thing and they do look good, but I just think it's too dangerous for the pastime that I love.
Yeah,
I don't want it to end up having to have licenses.
Yes.
Or getting banned but people don't realize how close we got to getting paintball banned in this country in the early 90s. It was proper close.
Oh yeah.
I mean, literally, we nearly ended up nearly getting banned universally in this country.
Yeah.
And I just I've got nothing against each to the run. It's paintball. I couldn't give a shit if you fire it out of something that looks like an AR or something that looks like a ray gun. I really hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I do think that the mag-fed side of it is just getting too military. We already have people thinking that we're all neo-Nazis and we're running around doing terrorist training in the woods.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. I don't know if it's the same as it used to be, but I know that those sites used to regularly get raided and checked over for like terrorist training and stuff. And it's like, are you for real? It's like, are you gonna go and raid the local arcade as well for kids that are like training on how to like defuse bombs on like what was there used to be a game where it was you could like you were meant to be a surgeon or something like that. It was and like part of it was you'd have, once a lot of it would be cutting into people and stuff, but then there was also there'd be levels on it where it was like, oh no, somebody planted a bomb in the hospital, so they would then go on and you using your surgeon skills would have to defuse the bomb. And really, are you gonna go in and start like checking those people over as well? Well,
that's what Ben Rex has put there. Yeah, to be brutally honest, there's no need for the look, as it's more the playing style. Yeah. See, why do they hate the MG1 so much? That to me, that looks like that was Star Wars.
That's the thing, though. It's because
they can still play their mag-fed games.
Yeah.
Don't look like weekend warriors.
You see, now that's the thing. It's for all like the whole milsim and everything isn't my style. I couldn't see me getting all dressed up in full replica gear and going out and playing. For all it's not my style, I actually think it looks really cool.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's it. It looks really cool, but it's just not for me. So as a result, I don't play it, and I don't have a go at people that do want to play it. But I do think that a big component, or a big part of why people were drawn to MagFed was because they just didn't want to be sitting at the back of fields raining paint all day. And I really appreciate that. And I love that idea. That's why, especially when MagFed first kicked off, I was like, oh, well, could I come and play with me Phantom? And they were like, no, it doesn't look like a real thing. Like, but I don't. I want to play like you guys. I just don't want to dress up as a soldier. No, but you don't look like them.
When paintball was really, really big, and not just here but in the States, right? They openly made a point of moving away from camo. Yeah. Military looking. It was all it was the brightly coloured tops, the masks, because it was your hyperball, your horny, still played in the woods, but they physically tried to get away from military look, make it more like a game.
The thing is,
a game that sportsmen would play. The gear was the tops they were wearing were more to akin of a football top or an ice hockey top.
Yes. You see, now I will counter that, because I think a big part of the draw of paintball when it was like in its boom, when people were going like God, this is something that I want to go and play. People were playing in camo stuff. You had teams that were dressing up in like in full military, well, not full military gear, but they were wearing like, you know, stuff that they were buying at Army Navy stores. You had people wearing like army hats and stuff. You had teams that were naming themselves after sort of like, you know, sort of military-esque names. The
I
problem
think
was,
you're thinking more of the 80s, aren't you?
well, it was. I mean, paintball was like it began in like obviously in was it like the mid 80s?
When they were playing like on that really famous beach in America.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm building up to that. But they started with this whole like it was military-esque, and I'm not saying like it was full on like, you know, marching around and all this sort of stuff. It was just a case of they're wearing like BDUs and they're wearing army surplus and they're using like all this sort of gear. There wasn't any proper paintball gear, and paintball grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. It was like even though it was getting bad press because they're saying, oh well, it's war simulation, paintball was growing at a massive rate. But then they went, oh hang on, what was that? Sorry.
And so I'm saying, in the 80s, yes, that's what it was like, but in the 90s, they tried to distance themselves from...
That's what I'm building up to, though, Albert. It was, they had this, like, massive boom where people were going, like, shit, I want to go and play that. That's, like, playing armies as an adult, you know, like, I played armies when I was a kid, and now I get to go and play it with an adult where I actually shoot my friends out, you know, and you had that sort of mentality. And then, at some point in the 90s, they went, hang on, we want to turn this into a serious sport. And we want to get away from this idea of, you know, we're all soldiers and all this sort of stuff. So they started like, going over to more the sort of tournament side. And that started to... It kind of grew because it was new and fun. But then we hit the mid-2000s, or like, maybe it's pushing on towards the back end of the noughties. And people were going like, well, I'm friggin' sick of these high rates of fire. And it seems like since then, there's been like a slow decline in paintball. And then as MagFed has kind of started to grow, and it is people to an extent going out and playing with like wearing military surplus and stuff like that, there does seem that there's been a lot more interest in paintball again all of a sudden, when people are going out and playing soldiers. Now, I do think that there is a difference between those guys that are going out and doing full LARP, and those guys that are going out and they're just like running around in the woods wearing military surplus. But, you know, like, I think when companies are trying to sell playing pants for 170 quid, and a t-shirt's or a jersey's gonna cost you like 90 quid, and then a playing pack costs you 50 quid, and this and that, and it goes on and on. It's like, hang on, I can go and buy a set of army surplus DPM pants for 20 quid, I can buy a top or just a t-shirt for 30 quid, I can buy a bag that's like some pouches that are going to hold me gear in for 20 quid, and I can go out and I can have fun like that. Now, I do think...
Has there been a big influence of people playing...
It certainly seems like, I mean...
I think it's just people who are already playing over. I don't think it has...
I do think there is a certain amount of players that have gone over, but it does seem as if there's like MagFed games are having great success, where it does at times seem like regular walk-ons are almost struggling to get people to go. Now, I know that there is some successful walk-ons, but walk-ons in general seem to be sort of slowly dying back a little bit, whereas MagFed games seem to be growing in popularity. Now, I may be totally wrong in that, and I'm more than happy to accept that I'm wrong in that. Hey, if anyone can prove me wrong on anything that I talk about, I'm more than happy to accept that. And I'll even give you shout-outs on the show if you can. But that's just how I kind of feel things have changed a little bit. And like I said, it's not so much that these guys are wanting to be soldiers. Some of them do, definitely. Some are like, I have to be one for one, everything. But some, I think, just want to get that sort of, I want to play soldiers like I did when I was a little kid, but as an adult with my friends with a gun that actually shoots a jelly ball at my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, they you know, Colin and Ben have just kind of gave the two sort of opposites there. Colin says he used to play in military surplus clothes, but then Ben has said his first set of stuff was a matching Angel ACAM jersey and trousers. Yes, Colin, I am always wrong, I know. I just give my opinions on things and have it ramble on. But to addressing your issue on the, what you raised about the MG100, Albert, Ben's posted there, the Europeans love the MG100 because it doesn't look realistic. And it's sad that the LARP style of play hate it because it's not realistic. Well, this is it. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm not Ben, but recently, me and Chan had a bit of a conversation with some other players about the difference between the MG100 and some of these sort of like other markers. And these players, and I do agree with them, well, my marker shoots perfectly fine for me. Like, yes, it may shoot perfectly fine for you, and I'm more than happy to, I think that if that is the case, that's great. I cannot fault any player if they have a marker that shoots perfectly fine for them. That is fantastic. But the MG100 has been designed by a paintball company specifically for the job of launching paintballs in the most effective way. It is primarily, the MG100 is based off of EMEC. The EMEC is a paintball marker primarily that was then adapted to be a MagFed marker. It wasn't, I suppose a lot of traditional, I'm saying traditional even though it's been around only a handful of years, for all, like, a lot of no other MagFed markers are effectively, that's like spider clones inside of a tactical body. Now that is, yeah, that like spider, that blowbacks in that old school, that old school style tech that has just been put into a tactical body for the modern market. There hasn't been any sort of advancement with a lot of those. And these guys, it basically boils down to, and I believe in a lot of instances, they just don't like the MG100 because it doesn't look realistic. But their marker that has always performed flawlessly for them does look realistic. But then you're seeing more and more, you can call them shills, you can accuse them of selling out or anything like that. But there is a lot of sort of paintball YouTubers who are shooting the MG100. I mean, say for example like Artwood or Nightmare. I know both of them are shooting MG100s now. Would absolutely love them. They might have loved their other markers as well. Like, I know Artwood was a big fan of the TMC, and I know that the TMC is apparently a fantastic marker, but the TMC is a Tipman 98 in a more tactical body. It's in a MagFed body. Whereas the EMEC, or the MG100, is effectively a budget tournament marker that has been put into a into a MagFed body.
What does that have the same core as? It has core as the a lot more high-end paintball guns.
Is it the Gamma core?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. It's the Gamma core.
You get in the 170R, which is like what, a £900 gun.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically the same core as what you get in the £900 gun. Whereas, comparing that to that is the same it's that versus technology that if you are buying the non-MagFed version of, you can get for like 50 quid.
There's a reason why it's called the Tipman 98. Brought out in 1998.
Yeah. Kingfish has said there, YPC have actually stopped doing their standard walk-on, and it's now just the 1989 club. Yeah. Well, if they're not getting enough players going to the normal walk-on, but players are enjoying playing the 1989 club, I think that shows that, like I was saying earlier on, is another thing that to me that indicates, and this is assuming that the 1989 club is popular, but assuming that it is, that is another indicator to me that people are sick of this whole rain and paint constantly, and they want to try something different. Now, I think the easiest way for a lot of people that are getting straight into paintball, a lot of them, it's like, you go out and you maybe play a couple of games with the guys that are arcane and paint and just rain and paint down range. It's like, well, then they get the speed of the guys that are shooting the guns, or playing the games where there's not much paint in the air, but the easy way for them to do that is to play MagFed. Because MagFed is a massive limiter on how much paint you can carry and fire in a game. So then those guys go out and buy MagFed markers. where I know the 1989 club, a lot of those guys that are playing that are probably using MagFed markers because they're easy enough to do that with. And it's a little bit overkill to go out and buy a really expensive marker, like let's say the latest, like the the M100 R or whatever it is. You know, you go out and buy that and then put a 50-round hopper on it. It's a bit overkill, isn't it? But if you're only going to be shooting a handful of paintballs, let's say maybe it's 100 balls a game, well, it's a lot more convincing to just go out and buy a cheaper MagFed marker, isn't it? Now, it would make more sense, ultimately, to buy the MG100, though. Because it's a superior marker, in my opinion.
So you know I'd buy the EMEC?
Well, I mean, that's it, yes. I mean, but you would buy the EMEC because you play... Sorry?
Save myself 200 quid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You would buy the EMEC...
£200 cheaper.
Yeah, that's it. But you would buy the EMEC because you're more likely to play with a hopper as opposed to going down the route of playing MagFed. But if you're wanting to go down the route of playing a limited style of paint, like a limited paint style of paintball, the most common one is for people to just go out and buy a MagFed marker. I think that's the most sort of simplest way to draw somebody into that at the moment. Now, that's, I think, what people's perception is. Me or you, we would probably say, well, no, the cheap and simple way to do that is you buy a normal hopper, you buy a pump gun, and you play pump.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out and buy expensive magazines for your marker. You don't have to replace those magazines when they get broken. You don't have to clean those magazines after a game and you've had paint get burst in them or anything like that, or you've dropped them in water.
Cleaning all that internals out.
Yeah.
You get a ball break in a magazine. Oh God, but that's a right pain in there. Where your hopper, wipe it out.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the kind of hopper you're using as well, doesn't it? Because if you're using, say, like a little gravity-fed hopper, you tip the paint out of it, and you can, at the end of the day, you can stick it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Something like that, or you can literally just pour some warm water into it, give it a bit of a slosh round, and it runs out.
I do like the idea of the 1989. Basically, any gun can come.
Yes.
You just got to put a 50-round hopper on it, and you're only allowed to take so many pods out. Yeah. I do like the idea of that because that's not making it exclusive.
Yes.
That's what I don't like the idea of. Why do I have to have different guns to play different styles? I ain't got the money.
Yes.
I'm basically one gun. You know, so I can play as many styles as
well, that's it. I mean,
MagFed gun to play MagFed.
Yeah.
A Tawny gun to play Tawny. A mechanical gun to fire to play classic paintball. You know what I mean? I want one gun that can basically do most of it, and I'll do like the idea of how you can the hopper. It's when they won't let people with paintball guns, even if you change the hopper, no, you can't play.
Well, this is it. I know it was a long time ago now, but I still throw back to when I was told I wasn't allowed to go and play an event because, like, with my Phantom, because I had an unfair advantage. And when pressed on why I had an unfair advantage, I was told, well, it's a lightweight Tawny pump. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm outgunned by a TPX when I'm playing with my Phantom, and you're telling us that I've got the advantage. It was just because it didn't look realistic. Like, but it's in the same spirit.
And a Hammer 7 does.
Yes, that's it. Or it's like you could have a Tipman 98 with a mag stuck in the side of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got told when me Sterling when I wanted to play one game. Well, stick a magazine converter on it. I'm sorry, I am not modifying a classic gun so I can stick an ugly ass clip outside of it.
Yeah, but
because I would have had to have took a Dremel to be good.
Yeah,
to get that. And that ain't gonna happen.
No, that's it. But yeah, you see, it's. Can
Why?
you?
Why? I couldn't see the difference. What's the difference between a stick feed that you only get with the sniper, which is not a true stick feed because I know it has the spring inside, and you're not supposed to have a spring inside.
No,
But
that's
as a
only for stock class. A spring
Yeah, I
feed's
know.
fine on a normal marker, on like
Yeah,
on the Vampire Sniper.
What do they hold? About 12 shots?
A stick feed, yeah, something like that, maybe.
12, 13 shots.
Mhm.
Now what's so bad about me running me sniper with that on?
Well, that's the funny thing. There were some people that will
but there was-
actually argue that that is perfectly fine. You could have a spring feed on because then it's operating the same as a mag on a marker, but wouldn't be fine with me just sticking a 10-round tube in the back of a normal stick feed, like on my stock class Phantom.
Well, that was it. I said I had a stick feed,
Mhm.
and I would have put it on my, and I would have gotten a stick feed for the Sterling.
Mhm.
I was told no, I had to put a magazine on it.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a stick feed and a magazine?
Yeah. Well, realistically, there's none. But it's because well, there was a lot of players, especially at the beginning of MagFed, that it was all about looks. And it was, if it didn't look real, then they didn't want it on field with them, because it would break immersion and things. I would say, but yeah, you're not playing a milsim game, you're playing a MagFed game. And it's like, if I'm...
around the roots playing Cowboys and Bloody
Yeah. If you're playing a milsim game, then I can totally appreciate you playing using, like, saying, right, I don't want anything that breaks immersion. But if you are playing a milsim game, then you have to accept that there are going to be things that wouldn't be what they would want to have on a field. In general, say for example, now, and this is where I've had umpteen debates, and I've kind of left them alone for a long time on it. But if you don't want to be playing with guys that have hoppers and things like that because they can rain paint, it's like, okay, fair enough, then right. But you also don't want to be playing against people that are using things that don't look like real guns because you want to play milsim. Okay, no problem. So you want to play a milsim game? Yes. Right, and well, in that case, I'm going to make myself up a replica of the... Is it the Byzantine or something like that? Or the PP9M1, I think it is.
Well, is it the...
I think it's the PP9M1. I don't know. I'll actually...
Where the magazine sits on the top.
No, not... Well, there is... I think that's the Coleco. PP9M1.
P90, I'm thinking of.
Yes, it is the PP9M1. It's actually a real gun. If I can actually find the friggin... I'm trying to find the real thing here. Unfortunately, I'm just finding stuff from Call of Duty.
The one I'm thinking of is the P90. Right?
The P90, yes, right.
Yeah,
well,
where the magazine is vertical, running along the top of the gun. And well, basically, it's hot. It's the one that was made famous in Stargate.
Yeah, it was a really popular gun in Stargate, yeah. Right, for some reason, the only thing I can find here, apart from a couple of images, is... well, actually, no, I've got one here, right. I'll open this up, and it's an airsoft version, but this is a real steel gun. Right, so this is the PP90 M1, that's why I can't find it, I've put PP9M1. PP90 M1. The hour gun, that's the one. Right, now this is a real steel gun. Right, there you go. Tell me that is not a Q loader. I know there's a bit of a delay, Albert, so it'll take you a second to see this. But how can anyone tell me that is not a Q loader? And that thing actually holds more ammunition, as I understand it, than a Q loader.
Yeah, I know which one you're on about.
Yeah.
Was made famous in one of the COD games.
So if you are playing, say, MagFed because you want to play milsim and you don't want to break the immersion, then I should be allowed to turn up to a game with that. But if you aren't playing MagFed for the immersion and you're only playing it for because you want to have less paint in the air, and you want that kind of spirit of more sort of fairness. You don't want as much paint in the air. You want that to be more movement and things like that. Then surely somebody should be allowed to play along with a stick feed. Now I will say that does seem to be the attitude that more and more Markfed players are taking now. They're not necessarily playing Markfed because they want military simulation. They're playing Markfed because they just don't want as much paint in the air. They want the games to be more about objectives, about movement and things like that. And that, I think, is fantastic. But yeah, this is the arguments that I used to have with a lot of Airsoft, with a lot of Markfed players, because they would say, well, yeah, I want to play Milsim, I don't want my immersion to be broke, but then I also don't want that to be like guns that can fire more ammunition than I can carry. And like, well, make your mind up, you can have one or the other.
What makes a paintball game for me is a good firefight.
Yes.
I think the more objectives
Oh, bugger.
ruins the game. Old-fashioned capture the flag. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Sometimes having objectives in a game is nice. Sometimes just going back to the basic objectives like domination, capture the flag, things like that, they're great. There needs to be variety in paintball.
Most games that I've played where I've like, yes, and it's been a really good day and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, it's just back to basic domination.
Yeah.
Controlling an area, and for however long you control that area's points. That's like speed for perfect example.
Yeah.
If there's a game and it's got objectives, or you can just play domination, you'll never ever see me doing objectives.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the way my team plays or what. We'll push, we'll hold the ground, let the other guy run around looking for the artifacts or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never ever been a fan of objective based. I just like a bloody good firefight.
Yeah. You see, that's mostly what I actually play for as well. But at the same time, I then also do like to sometimes. It's generally, if I stumble across an objective, I'll go for it. But I won't actively go looking for them.
If I stumble across it, I normally give it to somebody else. Here, mate, tell that
Yeah.
Oh, there's a thing over there. Go pick it up. Yeah. I've never ever been a one for doing objective game, and I've got no like. It wouldn't excite me, if you know what I mean. If I was, if I had that, you know, that they're doing a reenactment of some battle in Vietnam. Yeah.
You see, sometimes that sort of stuff does excite me, but at the same time, you know, I do also think some people just take it overboard. Like, you know, like say D-Day.
Oh, in America.
Yeah, Oklahoma D-Day.
Where BZ were getting wrong because they weren't saluting more higher ranking officers.
Yeah. You see, that sort of stuff I think is taking the mick. But if you want to go to an event like Oklahoma D-Day, where it's, on one hand, if you want to run around and just have fun, you can do it. But for the other hand, if you want to play a bit of scenario and have a bit role-playing stuff, yeah, you can do that. You see, the way I kind of...
The best thing about D-Day is you get to shoot Americans dressed as Nazis.
Yes, that's true.
Full stop. The only reason I want to go, I'll be able to shoot some Americans dressed as Nazis.
Yeah. But,
no, I didn't go when... They did it, but BZ did a trip out there, and I got told off a few of my teammates that there was some guys really like, you're not supposed to be here, you shouldn't be doing that. I've walked past you and you haven't saluted me, and I'm a more higher ranking officer. Like, what? It's paintball, mate.
Yeah.
Grow up, mate.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. If some bloke walked up to me, you haven't saluted me because I'm a higher ranking officer, I'd end
Yeah.
There you go, mate. There's your salute.
Yeah. The thing is, have you ever played anything in the way of like any MMOs, you know, mass multiplayer online games?
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, did you ever play anything? Well, I suppose it's the same in all of them. But
Played Counter-Strike, I played COD.
no, they're not. They're not MMOs. They're just online games. You see,
Right.
mass multiplayer online are things like, say, EVE Online, DC Universe Online, World of Warcraft.
Nah, I've never played any of that.
Because World of Warcraft, you know, you had different sort of servers that you could join. You had literally just servers where, yeah, you'd go on, you'd create a character, but the character was nothing more than an avatar, and literally you'd just run around and complete quests in the game and stuff, and it was just a game. You then had role-playing servers. Now, you could have role-playing servers where literally it was like, right, effectively, you are playing the video game version of D&D, you are your character. And you would go in and you might be Hagar the Bard, the Hagar the Elven Bard or something like that. And you'd run around and when you were playing the game, that was what you were. But then you would also have servers where there'd be some people that would be doing that, and they'd like, no, I'm Thagor the Mighty or something like that, and it'd be like in the background you'd have somebody running by giving it, all right, I'm Steve, I'm from London, and you'd have like the two sort of opposites playing in the same server, and they were both having fun, they were both having a great time, but they knew that they weren't going to get people that were always going to be what they expected from the game. But then you had the servers for the legit people that were like, oh no, we are proper role players. And then you had the servers for the people that didn't give a shit about roleplay and just wanted to play the game. But then, like I said, you had people that mashed the two up. And it's like, that's the way that I see some scenario games. Scenario games have those guys that just want to run around and shoot people. And they have the people that, like, no, I want to be a general for this and I want to do that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, power to you. Richie says before there, for a stream with no content, you've droned on for 2 hours.
Yeah, we're good at doing that.
Well, I do try my best, you know, Richie.
It was an hour of him just screaming about spiders.
It wasn't a full hour.
Alright. 59 minutes?
Maybe 59 minutes, I'll allow you that one, yeah. Hey, you were saying yourself, you wanted the spider conversation to end. Kingfisher had said before there that he likes cleaning his 468 and his marks. It's like, I do think, you know what it is, there is a certain satisfaction in cleaning markers. You know, like, especially if it's a marker that you're familiar with, that you know how to work on with and things like that. Sitting and working on your marker can be a pleasant experience. It's something that you can just sit and do. You can let your mind drift, you can sit and watch TV if you're sitting at home or anything like that, and yeah, you can just kind of plod on and do it. And
that can come with any gun though, I quite enjoy doing that with my sniper, and that's got a lot of fiddly little bits.
Mm-hmm.
I use cotton wool buds and an old toothbrush, you know, to get everything looking and...
You know, I'm finding as time goes on, I'm actually getting worse for not cleaning my gear. I'll give the outside wipe down, and then I just chuck it back in my kit bag, and then I get it out the next time and hope that it works.
Certain gear.
Yes, certain gear, yeah.
I'll just
Some more than others, yeah.
But when it comes to the likes of me Sterling or me Sniper, and I take great pride in cleaning every bit of it.
Yeah. But Ben does say mags are dire for breaks, and if anything, marker hits were more annoying than breach breaks. Yeah, because when you're using a mag fed marker and you've got all those nooks and crannies and stuff, getting the paint out of them is a pain. But I do think the same thing applies to autocockers. When you take a shot to your pneumatics on the front, and it's in between all the hosing, and it's covering the banjo bolt. And you can't. Yeah, it'll happen, Albert. And when you can't get anything in there to clean it out with, it's a nightmare. Which I know you've got those covered. You've kind of got that bit of protection on the front of yours.
Not much though. If it's a full front on shot.
Oh yeah. If it was a front on shot, it would actually contain it inside. But I don't generally shoot a normal autococker that much. But if I do, I've actually, Richie Wong got us a Ginger Dynamics pneumatics cover a while back. And it's like, I try and think, if I remember on, I put that on when I play with an autococker. Just so that it stops paint from ending up in everywhere.
I can see why they were brought out, like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, pneumatic covers have been a thing since basically autocockers were created.
Yeah. A lot of people take them off, and there's one of the first lost on an autococker, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah, it's quite common for them to be taken off, because, let's face it, most people that shoot autocockers want people to see the pneumatics.
Yeah, they like the look.
Yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's it. When you've got, like...
And the way they kick and...
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I know you don't really see much with the pneumatics. The movement parts is more like sort of the... coming from the pump arm, back... coming from the ram, down the pump arm, back into the back block and moving the bolt and everything. That's the exciting bit. But you want people to see the pneumatics that you have on the front, whether, you know, it's what kind of ram have you got on, what kind of LPR have you got on, what kind of three-way have you got on. Is it an E-blade? You know, have you got the difference between the Carney style three-way? Is it the E1 three-way? Is it a solenoid? Is it a Carney solenoid? Is it a E2, E1 solenoid? What is it that you've got on the front there? People like to show that off.
Ben's just put it's because you have Chan fixes.
yeah, there is that.
Cleaning 20 or 30 mag-fed tackle T4s. I do a cocker all day long.
Yeah.
But as for Ben's...
On the plus side, and I know it isn't really an ideal one because things rust, but at least with some mechanical markers, you can basically just hose them down, spray them with WD-40, and they're good for the next time.
Oh yeah, you tip of 98.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, when I marshaled the BZ, we had a big bucket of water.
Yeah.
And one of them brushes that you wash your dishes with, and you literally just did like
scrub the outside.
Rub the outside with the brush.
Yep. Yeah.
If there was ever any problems, 2 drips of oil and fight the gun a couple of times.
Yeah.
And that was the maintenance.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It was Infernos. What's it? Sterling Infernos? Not Sterling.
No.
What the hell? What was the name of the company that made the Sterling?
That was Arrow Precision.
That's it. It was Arrow Precision Infernos, right? A site that I used to work on, and I will not name names for it, but a site that I used to work on, at one point we used coffee as lubricant because that was the only thing we had at the time. And
coffee?
Yes, we used coffee. It was literally, we were on site on this day, we started, we had to like prep guns, we were in a rush, we had guns going down left and right because the fleet of markers at the time wasn't reliable. But we were told, right, we've got so many players coming in, we need guns for them. So it was like me and the other lad that I was reffing with at the time were like, what do we do? And it's like, some of these guns, you know, when they burp, and it's like, you put a couple of drops of oil in and all of a sudden stop burping.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? And it's like, well, we've got this. And it's like, let's just try it. Because I've done it, I've known it before where, and it's one I wouldn't recommend, but it does work. It's one I would recommend cleaning afterwards. Is spitting in your ASA, and I'm not talking like full on sort of. Yeah, like just a little bit of spit can seal up sometimes like little leaks in the marker, and it's literally you spit in the SA, stick your air tank on, your gases up and everything, and it just seals up that little leak. Now again, it's not one I would necessarily recommend, especially on an electronic marker, but it's the same sort of thing. And yeah, we used coffee to stop the markers from spluttering. It worked, it got me through the rest of the day, but then the fleet of markers started stinking of coffee.
Not nice.
Yeah. Yeah. But Ben had said earlier on there, specifically talking about MagFed, he got banned from a MagFed event for saying he was attending because the MagFed community at the time moaned to the organiser because he wasn't a sheep to the MagFed overall mentality. Yeah, I believe that was around at the same sort of time when I was hated in the MagFed community, Ben. And Ben's also said, MagFed hasn't seemed to grasp the difference between MagFed and Milsim games. Airsoft has, and there's a huge difference between the two. You know what it is, Ben? I can't agree with you on that. At one time, I totally could have, and I would have backed you up on that. Because at one time, as we were saying before, MagFed players had this, a lot of MagFed players had this, that it was either realistic or nothing. And as a result, those were like the guys that were really vocal in the community, and it was like they were chasing people out if they didn't blend in with exactly what they were saying. Yeah, if it didn't blend in with exactly what they were saying, they didn't want to know. But those guys are not, and I've said before, I'm not sure if those guys have left the community or if they have just blocked us so I don't hear them anymore. But it does seem like the MagFed community has kind of calmed down and are a lot more accepting now. Like, I know that there is a lot of MagFed players now, you know, like, I go and play D23 as often as I can. It's not as much as I used to. I don't play anywhere as much as I used to, but when I can, I go and play District 23. And the players that you encounter there, they're all generally really accepting of, like, me going down and playing with my Phantom. Or like if I run around like a mental case with my HDR50, none of them bat an eyelid at it. But I mean, an HDR50 isn't technically MagFed. My Phantom certainly isn't MagFed, but none of them care. You know, even when Chan and Rich go down, and it might be sort of a MagFed session, but they'll go down and play with just one full hopper. And they won't rain paint. They'll take the time. They might have a spree where they'll open up for a second or something. But even then, they're not caning paint. But those players are generally more than happy for let me, Chan, Rich go and play, and yeah, they're fine with that. And we're playing with guys that, for the same length of time, might open up for the same amount of paint. I mean, if you're using, say, something like a die dam. Even with a 20 round mag, which you have to flip every 10 shots, for a second, you can open up and put 10 shots down range in the space of a second. You can do the exact same on like an Ego or something. Now the difference is, of course, is that you then have to swap the mag over or something like that. But it's, you know, I think a lot of them are kind of the opinion now that it's, as long as you aren't being an arsehole with things, then I'm more than happy to play with you, which that, again, I keep saying it, but that is brilliant to see. Richie Wong, you hate it everywhere, not just MagFed. Well, that is also true, Richie. Ben, yeah, they're true. He needs to sort his act out. Not even a mention for Keyboard Warrior Award. Yeah, at one time I definitely would have been recommended for that one. I definitely would have been recommended for that one.
I was tempted to put your name down for that.
Well,
but then Ben came to my mind. Ben down.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I don't Keyboard Warrior anywhere near as much as I used to. But at one time, I just had untold amount of time to sit and spend on the internet. I don't anymore. So because I don't have that time to sit and argue with people, I just don't. Sometimes, yes, okay, I might see a post that I'm just too enticed by and I'll have a little bit argue with someone. I generally just don't bother anymore. I'm getting mellow in my old age. Right, one sec. Right, I know that we've lost a fair amount of viewers by this point, so I think we're going to draw the stream up now to a close soon. But Dave Diggs, yeah, Dave Diggs messaged us before there, because obviously he's playing at Outpost Paintball this weekend for I think it's their Chris Massacre game, and he's the one that is going to be doing a birthday run for his 40th, and he's asked me to share his birthday his outfit for his birthday run. So I'm going to have to see if I can open this across over here. Can I? Right. Apparently, where is it? This is Dave Diggs' costume for his birthday run. Just click on the share screen here. There you go. That the costume will no doubt take a pound in that. But mind, I think it's a bit unfair to do a birthday run in that costume. Now, granted, you aren't going to be able to run very fast, but those costumes give a lot of padding, don't they? So it's going to slow the shots down. You're not going to feel anything. Well, yeah, there you go. Guys, if you're heading over to Outpost, put a couple of shots on Dave for me. Right.
You'll not be able to move very fast in that.
That's the thing, is those costumes. You certainly can't run very fast in those, but
And they don't take paintball shots very well because I had a sumo suit made out of that.
Yeah.
Very thick stuff and it rips very easy.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think depending on how many players are there, he might rip the costume to just run that little bit faster himself. Right, but yeah. Right, anyway, let's have a quick look if there's anybody else messages with stuff for this. Oh. Paul's shared a link to a freaky spider robot with us. Thanks very much, Paul. Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, just give us nightmares tonight. Ben says he's got it's cheating, and he's got 2 gauntlet runs on his YouTube channel. One's Collins. See, guys, I gave up doing gauntlet runs years ago because, quite frankly, the last time I did one, they shot a hole in my t-shirt.
You basically did one at North vs South.
True, I kind of did, but that wasn't really so much a gauntlet run as it was
an idiot run.
Yeah, an idiot run. But the last time I did a genuine gauntlet run, and like a stag run, birthday run, whatever you want to call them, the players, because I used to play in t-shirts a lot, and the players that were there shot a hole in my t-shirt. I've never done like a birthday run since. It was just no, never again. But anyway, yeah, guys, I think we're gonna bring the show to a close. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to speak to you tonight. And thank you very much, Albert, for joining us tonight, as always.
No problem.
Hopefully, I shall be back on Monday, seeing as it seems like the stream is actually working now. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back on Monday. So feel free to tune in then. It'll be 8:30 Monday normally. I'm hoping that Albert and the rest of the guys can hopefully be with me. I may actually put out a call on online this weekend, and maybe see if we can get a guest on for Monday. Well, that's not a guarantee. That's just a maybe. So don't hold your breath for that, because unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier on the stream, my wife wants me out of this room, so I've got to find another location. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys.
Yeah.
What was that, sorry?
Backseat of your car.
Yeah, it could be. It genuinely could be the backseat of my car. Before I go, ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed that I put background music on the live stream now. What's people's thoughts on it?
I had it muted, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what's people's thoughts on it? How does the background music play? Is it's not too loud, or?
Out of this room, so
I can't hear it.
It should be on there.
Anyway, thank you very much.
It is just sort of in the background.
Yeah, it could.
It should still be playing. Yeah, the background music is still going.
I'm muted.
It's currently on 38 decibels. If I was to crank it up, you'd definitely hear it. But yeah, I just thought I'd add in a little bit of background music. Thought it might make them set the mood a little bit better.
Aye.
Do a Harry Potter and head under the stairs. Paul, you know what it is? That wouldn't be a bad idea, but unfortunately, I don't have an under the... Well, under the stairs is where one of my two-seater sofa is. Ben says he can't really hear it. Right, I'll tell you what then. Paul, what music? It's there, but really quiet. In that case, I wonder if I can crank it up really slightly. So it's now on... Oh shit, I've just really slipped up there. Just turn it down right slightly. There. It's now on minus 31 decibels.
I don't have it under the stairs. This is where one of my
Yeah, how Albert? What's it sound like?
I'm trying to hear.
yeah. Right.
Still got a bit of lagging still.
Yeah.
There, but really quiet. In that case, I wonder if I crank it up.
There we go. You're cranking her up now.
So it's now on. Oh shit! I've just really slipped up there.
Oh, you can hear it now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought I would add some music on because it seems like all the best podcasts have music on in the background. So, unfortunately, the problem is that I can't actually hear it on my end of things. It's playing there on OBS, but I just can't hear the music. So, yeah. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to entertain you guys. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Albert, would you like to say any final things?
No.
Fair enough then. Before we go then, where can we find you if people want to contact you or check you out on anything?
Facebook. Click clack pow on Facebook.
Fantastic. Right, and guys, it has been a pleasure as always. My name is Dexter. My co-host for tonight has been Albert. Thank you very much for watching, and I guess we shall see you next time.
Bye.